In Colossians 2, verse 3, Paul gives us a great insight in the ability to understand prophecy and prophetic words. And he gives us the key to unlock these things, saying, "In him all the treasures of divine wisdom, comprehensive insight into the ways and the purposes of God, and all the riches of spiritual knowledge and enlightenment are stored up and lie hidden." Only in Yeshua, the Anointed One, lies all the answers. Hidden in His ministry, hidden in His life, hidden in His words, are all the great treasures of divine wisdom. God in His wisdom had decided that Yeshua would at the fullness of time come. But why did He determine that time to be the fullness? Why was it that He had determined that way that it would be done? All these things will now be unlocked as Yeshua chosen in this last hour to create another witness which will point to Him alone as the only Messiah, that He alone can unlock and unseal the scroll. John saw an awesome vision of Yeshua, who came to be the suffering servant and to die for our sins. But the vision that John saw of Him was no longer of a servant and of a humble man who came to give his life like a lamb that was a sheep before the slaughter. But he saw the King of Kings. And as he turned around, he heard Him speak, and His voice was like a trumpet. In Revelations chapter 1, verse 19, Yeshua spoke through His angel, saying, "Write therefore the things you see, what they are signifying, and what is to take place hereafter." The book of Revelation is actually called the revelation of Yeshua. It is what He reveals to us about Himself and about the future. And John was told to write down everything that he saw and what these things actually represent or signify, and what would happen in the future. Everything that Yeshua through signs in heaven shown us, we also wrote down with the greatest care all that He had shown us, so that you might know what will happen in the future. Then John after this looked, and behold, a door was standing open in heaven. And the first voice which I had heard addressing me like the calling of a war trumpet said, "Come up here, and I will show you what must take place in the future." The book of Revelation is a book revealing the future. It is not only a spiritual war, as many have said that it's only a revelation of the spiritual war that happened in heaven. But it is far more than that, because Yahweh does not only prophesy about the past, the present, but also the future. For He is, and He was, and He is to come. The Apostle John was shown the future and what will take place. And he was invited up into heaven to come and see, from the spiritual point of view of God, what will take place. At the end of the book, he wrote what he had seen and the conclusion of the matter. And he, of the 7 angels, further said to me, "These statements are reliable, trustworthy of confidence, and genuine or true. And the Lord, the God of the spirit of the prophets, has sent His messenger or angel to make known and exhibit to His servants what must soon come to pass." God is the spirit of the prophets. He is the one who prophesied through the prophets. He is the one who spoke by His Spirit in their spirits, revealing the future to them. Therefore He Himself must also be and can only be the only interpreter of the words of the prophets. The answer to understanding this symbolic language and all these hidden mysteries is a relationship with Yeshua. Truly knowing Him as a friend will truly lead us to understand His voice and to know and recognize the way that He speaks. In the book of John, chapter 10, verse 14, Yeshua said, "I am the good shepherd. I know and recognize my own, and my own know and recognize me." Truly, in order to know whether Yeshua has really spoken, we must know Him. We've said it already that to know Him is to have an intimate and a deep relationship with Him. He has chosen, because of His love and mercy, to reveal His secrets and His mysteries to His friends. Yeshua revealed these things to us, not so that we can lord it over other men, or so that we could bring you into submission to ourselves, but rather that He Himself might reveal His loving kindness and His mercy to this generation. For if He had not loved us, He would not have wanted to warn us timely before those things that was about to come could take place. But those who truly know His voice, those who understand and know the anointing of the Spirit of God, as we have already said, know the beautiful sound, they truly will be able to recognize and know whether He has spoken to us or not. Yeshua once said, "If I say that I do not know Him, then I am a liar like you." And truly, if we say that we have not heard His voice, then we say that we do not know Him. But we do know Him, and He has openly spoken to us, even face to face, glorifying His own name. Through the word Yeshua had given me, from the first time He called both my brother and I together, He showed that He has spoken through dark and difficult sayings, saying, "Behold, I'll make you into a new threshing sledge with sharp teeth. You shall thresh the mountains and beat them small, and make the hills like chaff. You shall winnow them, the wind shall carry them away, and the whirlwind shall scatter them, and you shall rejoice in Yahweh, and glory in the Holy One of Israel." This prophetic word that Yeshua had given me through the old lady, confirming that He said, the word that He had given us, "In my mouth will become like fire that consume the enemies." He says He will make it like a whirlwind to scatter all those who try to stand up against Him and against those whom He had chosen. He says, "I'll make you into a new threshing sledge." The purpose of this seminar is to be a threshing sledge for Yahweh. The purpose of a threshing sledge is to separate the chaff from the wheat. And truly, Yahweh is now separating the chaff from the wheat. Just as He had said to John the Baptist, He said the axe is already at the root of the tree, and every tree that doesn't bear fruit will be cut down. For look, His winnowing fork is in His hand, and He will thoroughly thresh His threshing floor. By these signs and wonders, Yahweh is creating a witness that will be a stumbling block to many. Those who believe Him, they will truly know that He has spoken and that the time is at hand. But those who refuse to believe, they themselves already are condemned, because they have hardened their hearts, not against a man, but against the very words and even the very signs that Yeshua had given in His love in order to prepare this generation. All the things that we'll be sharing with you in this seminar, we ourselves have seen with our own eyes, and we truly witness that He is the God of heaven and earth. And just as He had given us through the prophetic word, saying, "You are my witnesses, says Yahweh, my servant whom I have chosen, that you may know and believe me and understand that I am He. Before me there was no God formed, neither shall there be after me. I, even I, am Yahweh, and besides me there is no Saviour. I have declared and I have saved, and I have showed that there was no strange God among you. Therefore you are my witnesses, says Yahweh, that I am God. This is a witness, for the sake of Yahweh, that He alone is God, and that no other foreign God He desire before us. He says, I will not have their faces in front of me. Much of what we have shared and will be sharing with you comes from Yahweh's mouth. He Himself determined at the right time and in His mercy to choose a vehicle through which to reveal to the world all that is about to come to pass, so that we may know that He is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He says there that there shall be no other God. No, He says that all may understand that I am He. God speaks in a very personal way to us, saying He wants you to know that He is that God, the one that you have read about in the Bible so often, the one that you have heard about, the signs and wonders that He has done through Moses and through His servants, the prophets of old. This is the same God who also appeared to us, so that you may know, and that this may be a witness for His glory's sake. Yeshua appeared to me on the 9th of May 2001 through glorious and awesome signs in the heavens. And He spoke by His Spirit in my spirit and confirmed the very words by signs in front of us in the sky. And He says, come follow me, I'll make you a fisher of men. I'll make my eyes your eyes that you may see what I see. And I'll give you the key, which is humility. And I will put words in your mouth, and I will send you to all nations in this generation before the end comes. Then while I looked towards the one that was standing on the J, holding out his right hand to me, suddenly something like a cobra appeared in the sky. Then I saw how this cobra changed and became the head of a beast, and then the beast changed again and became the head of a dragon. Then the Lord said to me, He will always be there as the third person, but you must follow me and me alone. No church, no pastor, no man, but me and me alone. Then the Lord again said to me, I will blow him away with the breath of my nostrils and the glory of my coming. And you will call down fire on this earth before the end comes. And this will be the sign that I've spoken to you. You'll meet me on this mountain. From the first time that Yeshua appeared to me, He made it clear what the purpose for the calling would be. He wanted to reveal prophetically that which He has spoken through the prophets and how He had spoken through them. He also wanted to give me a great and awesome key which we have revealed to you in the Lord's revolution. But then another sign appeared of a cobra that changed into the head of a beast and then again into a dragon. This is what we call a satanic triangle. Yeshua also wanted to reveal that which was about to happen in the earth, and how He, the Lord of glory, would blow this enemy of His away with the breath of His nostrils and the glory of His coming. And this is a witness, revealing all that which He promised us on that day. 3 days later, when my brother and I were driving together towards a place to buy some food, the Spirit of God suddenly came upon us. And while we were sitting in the car, looking through the windscreen of the car, we saw the map of North America being written in front of us in the clouds. This was truly a glorious sign, and it was now the third time that Yeshua had appeared to us through signs in the heavens. What we saw in the sign, we saw the map of North America with two arrows coming into Washington, D.C. and New York, with two large passenger airplanes behind the two arrows flying into these cities. As we looked at this sign, we did not know what it meant. But as we know, 3 months later, on the 11th of September 2001, two aeroplanes flew into the Twin Towers and destroyed the Twin Towers. What many do not know, that on that day, not only 2 buildings fell, but 5 buildings fell. A few days before this happened, I saw another vision that morning. As I woke up that morning, I saw a vision of a large boardroom and men sitting around the boardroom table. And I saw the Department of Defense of the United States of America against the back wall. And I knew that a very important meeting was taking place. Still, I did not know what this meant either. 3 days before it happened, I had a dream. In my dream, I saw the map of North America against the left wall of a large boardroom. And as I saw the map, I walked into the building and I said, "You do not know what this is all about. This is not about North America. I am not here for the evangelization of North America. I am here for the evangelization of the whole world." Also on the same day, on the 13th of May 2001, other signs appeared to both of us at the same time. We saw a sign of a large oil tanker having containers standing on its deck, which was standing very close to the harbor of Venezuela in South America. Then we saw a sign of a large aircraft carrier that appeared in the Atlantic Ocean, moving in an easterly direction from North America. After this, we saw another sign that appeared. We saw another large passenger liner or a Boeing that came, and an arrow that indicated how it would come landing at Buenos Aires, the capital of Brazil. And after this sign, another sign appeared to us. We saw how a sampan came from the Pacific Ocean and came around the coast of South America, up the Atlantic Ocean, and as soon as it reached as high as Venezuela, it suddenly changed and became a nuclear submarine. And afterwards we saw how this nuclear submarine fired a nuclear torpedo towards the country of North America. When we saw all these signs, we were in awe and in wonder, because it was truly a glorious sign, and yet a sign of terrible times to come in the future. After I had seen this sign, the next day, after I prayed, I walked past our television and the news was on, and on CNN, they've actually had in the news, they've caught a oil tanker that was carrying about $500 million of drugs upon it. And the Coast Guard had actually caught those who were trying to bring or take drugs out of South America and Colombia. This was the very next day. About 3 months later, on the very day that the Twin Towers fell, I was standing in a shop. And while I was standing, I looked at the newspaper. And as I opened the newspaper, the aircraft carrier
was in the front page of the newspaper. And suddenly as I saw this picture, it was as if a great shock hit me on the chest. And I knew that something terrible was about to happen. Not long after that, the pastor of the church where I used to be in contacted me and said, "Did you hear that the Twin Towers had fallen?" And only then I found out that was what God had indicated to us 3 months beforehand. The sign of the aeroplane coming into Buenos Aires, we will look at in the greatest detail in the last part of this seminar, when we look at who the Antichrist is and a great evil plan that Satan will give him in order to rise to power and to become the one world leader in the whole world. Here in the country of South America, this man would meet 2 important delegates, and Satan would give him a plan to control and to lead the whole world. The last sign that we saw of the sampan, we will see how after the great tribulation has started and many wars had broken out on the earth, a sampan, which is only a symbol of the Chinese, would come around the coast of South America in stealth and would shoot a nuclear torpedo towards North America.
After having spoken to us in this way, confirming his mouth by 2 witnesses, Yahweh started to build an entire case and give an explanation, granting us the ability to understand the words of the prophets. From the time that these things were revealed to us, we started to make an orderly account, writing down all that we have seen, just as the book of Luke also explains, saying, "It seems good and desirable to me, and so I have determined, also after having searched out diligently, and followed all things closely, and traced accurately the course, from the highest to the minutest detail, from the very first, to write an orderly account to you, most excellent Theophilus." Luke was a doctor and a very logical man, and he wrote down everything, and he searched out the details. To the best of our ability, we've tried to keep the dates in which these things were revealed to us, as well as their sequences of events, as well as what has happened. Revealed to you only what we have seen and how we have seen it. Later we started to put interpretation to these words through the scriptures and through the revealing of other visions that Yahweh gave to confirm his words. We did this in obedience to the word of Yahweh to his prophet Habakkuk, when he said to him, "Write the vision and engrave it so plainly upon tablets that everyone who passes by may be able to read it easily and quickly as he hastens by. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, and it hastens to its end fulfillment. It will not deceive or disappoint. Though it tarry, wait earnestly for it, because it will surely come. It will not be behindhand or on its appointed day." As the author of all these things, I was the writer and the one who had to keep account of these things. My brother has been the one who was the one who prayed all the time, covering us in prayer. And Yahweh put us together like a chariot and a horse, so that he might make a witness for his own name's sake. In this seminar, we will attempt to briefly touch on most of the things that he has revealed to us, but it will not be possible. Written in an orderly account, we also wrote a book that everything that we have seen from the beginning were all written up and made plain, and where possible even added some pictures in order so that you could also have an understanding and grasp and get a feeling of what we experienced when we saw these things. And all this we've done and made plain on tablets and writing it down so that when those things that was revealed could come to their fulfillment, could actually be seen and could be proven for the sake of Yahweh's glory. Even while this CD has been made, some of the prophecies has already taken place. One of the prophecies that took place, which we will reveal to you later in this seminar, is Egypt and Libya that was bombed by the European Union, with France being the leader of the attack. Although this was seen in the year 2002 already, it had already come to pass. Therefore, many other things that is written has come to pass, but many of those things still has to come to pass in fulfillment of the words of the prophets, until all the prophecies will be fulfilled. In Revelations chapter 10, verse 5, John sees a vision about the times of the end and how all the prophecies will be fulfilled. In his vision, he saw a mighty angel who had been standing or stationed on the sea and on the land, and who had raised his right hand to heaven and to the sky. And he swore in the name of and by him who lives forever and ever, and who created the heavens and the sky and all that they contain, and the earth and all that it contains, and the sea and all that it contains. And he swore that no more time should intervene, that there should be no more waiting or delay. Many of the prophecies that many have been waiting for thousands of years are about to be fulfilled. And John writes, and he says he sees an angel, a mighty angel, whom we know as Michael, who raised up his hand and promised and said, there will be no more delay. What will there be no more delay of? He says, but when the days come, when the trumpet call of the seventh angel is about to be sounded, then God's mystery, his secret design, his hidden purpose, as he had announced the glad tidings to his servants the prophets, should be fulfilled, accomplished, and completed. Truly a time is coming, and Yeshua determined, and he promises that there will be no more delay. In the next seminar, when we look at the Lord's calendar, we will prove and show to you how Yeshua told us there will be no more delay for the fulfillment of all that was prophesied by all the prophets. And this generation will see all that was prophesied. Truly, that which he had revealed to us unseals and unlocks the words of the prophets, so that you may know the certainty of the words of the prophets, as well as the certainty of their fulfillment that is about to come to pass. For the mystery of God is about to be revealed. The God of heaven and earth, the King of the universe, he who has all things in the palm of his hand, he who measures out the heavens in a span, he who has engraved the names of those whom he loves in the palm of his hand. He has also guided the generations of the nations. And maybe you might say, but where do I fit into this whole picture? Where does my nation, or how does the Bible speak about prophecy about our time? We will reveal to you how out of the country of Southern Africa, out of South Africa, Yeshua raised up the tribes of Zebulun and Issachar to prepare the world for his coming. It was predestined even by Moses, and how all that was prophesied about how Babylon will come, just like in the olden days when Nebuchadnezzar came and took Jerusalem and broke down the temple. Prophecy will repeat itself again. We will show to you how the ram will be broken in the east by a goat coming from the west, and what it means. We'll be looking at the book of Revelation and an army that was prophesied about 200 million that will come. We will also look at the opening of the bottomless pit, and how the bottomless pit will be opened, and out of it will come locusts, and they will have heads of lions and tails of snakes, and they will sting the people with stings like scorpions, and they will wish that they had died for 5 months. We will look at which kingdom and how the earth will be divided into 10 parts, prophesied by both Nebuchadnezzar's dream as well as Daniel's visions. And we will look at what will be the final outcome of Israel. All these pictures surrounding this slide were included in direction as well as with purpose, for they will now be the fulfillment of prophecy, and they will also be a kind of a sequence with which we will deal in the rest of this seminar.